Good afternoon and welcome to the HBCU Green Fund press event for COP28. I'm Felicia Davis, a founder and manager of the HBCU Green Fund, which HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities, primarily in the U.S. Okay, let me get the microphone straight. So that is, and we fondly say HBCUs, and HBCU Green Fund is known all across the continent of Africa, particularly sub-Saharan Africa, just as HBCU Green Fund, with a very different meaning. We believe that as much as we have a climate crisis, at the center of that crisis is justice and human rights. And so we work in a Pan-African mindset to connect Black people across the diaspora, and particularly on the continent of Africa. And with that, we're just going to share several stories from some of our partner entities. We're going to open with Alay Kenny, who works as managing director of the HBCU Green Fund. So, Alay.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. As she mentioned, my name is Alay Kenny. I'm the managing director of the HBCU Green Fund. A good portion of my responsibility is answering the question of how are we, one, currently sustaining ourselves, and two, developing a sustainable future. So one of the main ways we do this is working with our HBCU Fellows program. That includes students from 5 different campuses across our nation, but primarily located in the Atlanta metro area, and that includes Spelman College, Morehouse College, and Clark Atlanta University. The students spend significant amounts of time working with young professionals in the sustainability and clean energy industries. They've learned to complete investment-grade energy audits and collect the data necessary to provide those. They've also learned to do solar installations, as well as provide general sustainability education to their peers and community. And so for us, it's about how are we building a solid foundation for a sustainable future with an electorate and a voting class of people who understand what these things mean, who understand that we can't get to justice without sustainability, and we can't get to sustainability without justice. And further, we look at how do we connect that, not just across the United States, but across the world. So what we've done is our HBCU Fellows actually partner with universities on the continent of Africa. We've done an Eco Spring Break, and we do it annually where we send our students from the States over to the continent. Last year, we sent them to Senegal with our partner Eco Village Rodez in the Sahel region, where the students learned about deforestation and reforestation. They planted trees, they dug wells, and so literally getting to the work of building a better future very immediately, very urgently, but also understanding design and sustainable development of a long-term future. So we are excited to be at COP and to bring the voices of HBCU students, alumni, young professionals, and the people who will be taking over the leadership of this planet to you.
Thank you, Alay. And next, to advance our work in Africa, we are very proud to announce that for 2024, we will officially launch and open an African office. And so Mr. Shehu Chum is our Africa director. And Shehu, if you would share.
Thank you very much. My name is Shehu Chom from Senegal, West Africa. I'm the Africa Director for HBCU Green Fund. So my role is to help and empower our brilliant young climate entrepreneurs in Africa. So we have something like 11 countries where we have very, very impactful projects. So today we trying to help and then make them move to the next step. So in developing the project in the different countries. So as you said, I'm the bridge between the headquarters in Atlanta and Africa. So I'm very proud to be here. And then just to say that HBCU Green Fund is a philosophy that is going beyond the border of America. So going to the continent, and then I think we will be doing our best to really make everything a success in Africa. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I want to announce that, and this is our breaking news, that the HBCU Green Fund, over the past 2 years, we have had a pre-COP Africa and African Diaspora pre-COP conference. For 2 years, it's been virtual. We are really, really proud and pleased to announce that in June of 2024, we will hold our first in-person African-American Youth Climate Summit in Dakar. So we are really pleased to be working with the director and others. Yes. Thank you. And next, from Kenya, we do a number of projects across Africa, and so I will have Sharon Gaki share quickly a bit about the project that we're supporting in Kenya.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharon Gaki from Kenya, and I'm so glad to be here today. So in Kenya, we are partnering with HBCU Green Fund to do a project in climate smart agriculture, and we are so glad to say that we have gone ahead to establish demonstration farm, or rather plots, whereby we are teaching our farmers on how to do agroecology and to practice it on and into our farms, which is serving as a demonstration farm. We have gone ahead to make a sustainable demonstration farming through these demo farms, whereby they have learned on how to do their own farming in their own pieces of plots. Through these, we have gone ahead to give them inputs, whereby we are giving them biochar fertilizer, which serves as a amender to the soil, which has given more produce more than the chemical fertilizers. And you have seen their farms do much more better, and they produce more than it was before. So we are so grateful to HBCU Green Fund for this project. And our farmers today, as we speak, they have pictures and the results of what they have gotten from the farms so far. And through it, they are making a livable, their sustainable living through it, through the trading of agribusiness. Before, maybe I would have started by saying that I'm coming from a pastoral community, which has suffered more from the impacts of climate change, which is drought. And these people, from their living, they used to do livestock farming, whereby in 40 years' time, last year, we experienced a very prolonged drought, whereby they ended up losing their livestock, which served as their source of income and their livelihood. So when it came to this point, we thought on how can we help these people, because so many children ended up dropping.
Wrap it up.
Out of school, and that's how we came in with HBCU Green Fund and started the Climate Smart Agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you. The story is quite extensive and the work very impressive. And so next I'm going to move to Hussein Kasim, who is in Ghana, and we have a number of projects in place in Ghana, and actually our Eco Spring Break this year will actually go to Ghana, or next year, 2024. So Hussein Kasim.
Thank you, Felicia, and thank you everyone for coming. My name is Hussein Kasim. I'm the focal point for HBCU Ghana. HBCU actually is supporting in a number of projects, like Felicia said. It's helping in the Globe project. We are also implementing a project called the Young Climate Innovators Program, in short, YCLIP. And the core objective of the project is to be able to educate, engage, and empower youth in marginalized or vulnerable communities to be able to come out with innovative ideas that are geared towards climate change mitigation and adaptation. Most at times, we assume people, students at the various universities.
Move just a bit back from the mic, so it's not
okay, sure. Sorry. So most of the times we assume that people understand the basics, the causes, and then the effects of climate change, especially those at the tertiary institutions. But then it's always not like that, because there are people who are studying, let's take mathematics, and they don't actually relate very well with climate change. So with the white clip, we are partnering with the University of Ghana Business School, and we are doing capacity building training. And then after training them, we link them to communities which are marginalized. So let's take it in Accra. Currently, there's a community that has issues of waste management. So we've trained the youth in the university, at the university, and then we've linked them to the marginalized community to come up with an innovative solution. And most of these solutions are solutions which involves the community members. So it's not like from top-down approach, but then from down up, in such a way that the community members, without even the students being there, they will be able to implement this project without so much external support. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are also launching a GLOBE project, those that are familiar with NASA, NSF GLOBE, that will connect middle school students in Georgia, New Jersey, Ghana, and Senegal. And we're providing weather stations that the teachers in the classrooms can use so that they can compare climate impacts and even day-to-day weather in various places, hoping to also connect and create that cultural exchange. And so next we have Denise from Uganda, and she will also briefly share.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Denise Ayabare. I'm from Uganda and part of HBCU Green Fund in Uganda. The projects in Uganda are more focused about climate education and awareness, as well as nature-based solutions, where we carry out green debates right from primary level, high school, and university level, engaging various students in climate education and to create awareness. It's more about nature-based solutions, with nursery beds in different communities, where we partner with different organizations to plant trees and launch environmental clubs in schools with sustainability of planting trees. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. And to tie a bit of our work together, but before we totally take questions, Mustafa Santiago Ali, Dr. Mustafa Santiago Ali, has been a long-term supporter of HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, impacted communities across the U.S., and in advancing environmental justice and climate justice from a number of arenas. But he has a particular love and appreciation for work that gets done, and especially for engaging the next generation. So with that.
Thank you, Felicia. You know, Africa is the birthplace of civilization. It is also the mother of civilization, and it is time for us to make sure that we are making the investments to protect our mother and to also uplift. James Baldwin, a famous writer, once said that if I love you, I have to make you conscious of the things you don't see. When you look at the HBCU Green Fund, when you look at the folks who are in the audience, when you look at these amazing leaders who are here on this stage, they are sharing with you the sets of examples about how we not only help to strengthen Africa, but examples for the world about how we can actually address the climate crisis, whether it is in making sure that education is available and the lessons and best practices that come out of that. For those who are focusing on the clean economy and making sure that we are creating a new set of jobs, but at the same time addressing the climate crisis, addressing the cyclones, addressing the flooding that's going on, addressing the heat islands and the extreme heat that's happening. All of this is about building collaborative partnerships, authentic collaborative partnerships across the ocean. So we're extremely blessed to have all these amazing leaders and the folks who are there on the front lines actually doing the work, creating the examples about how we make real change happen. But we also have to make sure that we share with folks that we have power and that we're not going to give that power away, that we are going to demand that the resources go to the communities that need them the most, to make sure that the voices that are unseen and unheard are now not only a part of the dialogue, but are framing out the direction that we go. So I want to thank everyone who has been so committed over the years in making real change happen.
So, and Mustafa is known for asking everybody to join in that particular call. So I don't want this group to miss out just because we happen to be on this pretty stage.
Yeah, you know, we all come from the grassroots, so we keep it real. Is that all right with everybody? So I often ask folks to look to the person to your left. Help your neighbor out if they don't know they're left. Look to the person to your right. And do me a favor, reach your left hand out to the person on the left-hand side, and reach your right hand out to the person who's on the right-hand side. So if you really want to make people nervous, folks get nervous when we come together, when we actually are focused on the fact that we have more things in common than we have differences, and that we are going to use our power to make positive change happen. I often ask people all across the planet to join me in saying just a simple word, just say power. Power. Now this time we're going to bring it home, say power to the people. Power to the people. One more time, say power to the people. Power to the people. And some people are afraid of power, so let's say it loud enough so folks outside of these doors can actually hear us. All the folks who are at COP28 need to know that when it comes to frontline organizations, that we have the power to make change happen, and that we are going to do everything to make that become a reality. Last time, everybody say power to the people.
Power to the people.
There it is.
So with that, I think we still have time to take a couple of questions from the audience, and somebody is going to run around with the microphone because I'm not having my Oprah moment today. So, and I want to have a cue. We have a question down front. How am I on time? Okay? Great.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Sade Jones from the U.S., and I'm coming from a low-wealth area, a changing area, a community. Does the HBCU Green Fund do work in communities, and how does that relate to the work in Africa?
So, Amai?
So the short answer is absolutely yes. So one of our biggest projects is actually in partnership with Bezos Earth Fund in the West Atlanta area. So it's entirely community-based and looking at how do we create viable green spaces in the community using the resources and the people already there to support and elevate the community. And that work translates across the globe, because everyone kind of across the globe is struggling with how do we make effective use of the land and the spaces that we have and respect those spaces and make sure that they're climate friendly, but also usable for the people there. We see this in Senegal, we see this in every major city. And so we take the learning we have happening in West Atlanta and projects there to be able to share across the globe.
Great. Another question?
Can you just name a couple of the partners that you work with?
So we work with a large number of partners. One of our major partners that would have been with us today and sharing is Harambe House Center for Environmental Justice. And we do planning, implementation, and they are engaged in connecting environmental justice and planning for a plan going forward for the entire southeast of the United States. They are also heavily involved throughout the diaspora, particularly West Africa and also Panama. So that's just one of our partners. We are pleased to have a number of sponsors. We have a great party this evening, December 5th for the record, December 4th at 5 for the record. And we had the Dream.org support, and we also have Omega Institute, and we have Center for Environmental Justice. So, and then I'm looking in the audience and I'm seeing folks that work and countries that are represented that work with us. So while we can only have a few on stage, we are working in Burkina Faso, we're working in the Gambia, we are working in Sierra Leone, we are working in Liberia, we are working in Zimbabwe, we are working, and I'm sure I'm missing several of our countries because we are working across 15 countries with projects in 11. And really pleased that people have come out. LA, or someone might want to...
Last thing, we are working a lot of places, doing a lot of work, but we are not working tonight. Tonight we party. There is a global world music party tonight, Warehouse 4 in Dubai, 5 p.m. It is free. Please come join us. Have a great time with us. We're going to party because we party as hard as we work. As you can see, we work very, very, very hard. So we are looking forward to celebrating and enjoying with you guys tonight.
There's one more question, I think, over in the corner. So, what are you trying to tell me?
All right, my name is Eugene from Ghana. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. My question goes to Kasim. Are women involved in the implementation of the YCLIP program?
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. Yes, certainly, because we know very well how marginalized or vulnerable women are when it comes to issues of climate change. And like I said, the implementation is usually community-based, so we make sure that they are involved in both the education, the training, to make sure that they are involved in the whole project cycle. Thank you.
So also, I want to mention, I think there's a question here, and there's another there, and so we're going to have to go quickly, but I neglected to mention a major partner that we're so pleased to have, which is the Pattern streaming channel of the Weather Channel. So some of you check the weather, and you check it on the Weather Channel, and Pattern is their streaming outfit. So they are good enough to be a partner, to share some of our content, and we definitely want to thank them for that support. Next question.
Hi, I'm Geoffrey Joseph Daka from Zambia. I come from an environmental education background, also environmental management activities. I would want to find out firstly if there are any activities that you are doing in Zambia. Then secondly, I come from an organization that is in health and environment. So for this year's conference, it was exciting because we have climate and health that was being discussed yesterday. So as part of our pyramid to ensure that we become a sustainable healthcare facility where we also have an NGO that we are supporting, we have circular economy issues, sustainable water management, and also sustainable energy utilization, which are speaking to climate. So is there a possibility to partner with an organization?
Yes, and we're getting quickly to the answers. So, Shehu, do we have anybody in Zambia? Number one. Number two, remark about our work in climate and health. So we do. We have Precious, who's in Zambia. So yes, we have a focal point in the country that we can connect you with. And then climate and health, Shehu.
Just to tell you that we have one important partner, new partner, which is the Foundation S. So which also want to be with HBCU Green Fund to support Africa. So we have met with the Africa director of Foundation S, which is really committed to help us in this very noble role to help young entrepreneurs.
Yes, and so that we don't get too far ahead of ourselves, we have met with them. So I wish we could say we're exactly a partner. We hope to partner more intimately as we go forward. But we are focused on the intersection of climate and health. We always have a focus on gender and climate, and we are looking for sustainable platforms, whether that be in agriculture, mobility, energy, even housing, et cetera. So we want to look at how does the global Black community move forward in a sustainable way. Any other questions? I don't hear the time. I saw somebody move. So I've not gotten a signal, so I'm checking. I have 1 minute. So in 1 minute, I'm going to close by thanking all all of you that have joined us for this press conference. I will express my appreciation for all of the sharing that you would do. The most important way that you can support us as an entity is to let others know the news that we've shared today. We are working across the continent. We're doing hard work. We're working with Green the Church in the U.S. We are empowering anything that a young person can learn in Atlanta, they can learn in Accra, they can learn in Nairobi. And there are lots of things that are coming from the continent that empower our youth and enable us to forge what will truly be a sustainable future. I want to thank all of the people that spoke today, and you got only little nuggets and tidbits, but I think you got enough to really appreciate the work that's underway. And so with that, I'm going to close. I'm going to thank the COP28 for this awesome, beautiful, wonderful platform. And again, Pattern, Dream.org, Harambe House Center for Environmental Justice, and any partner that I've neglected to mention, Omega, because without them, we wouldn't be here. So thank everyone.